Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Let me make sure I go live on here. Go live. All right, there we go. This one, I think I'm doing it right. I don't even know. Hold on. Let's see. I gotta figure out how to go live on Facebook through this. Hi, Bobby. Let me see if I can post this. Oh, it did it. Oh, yes. Okay. Perfect. So this is the Facebook group that I was telling you guys about. That it's a private group, and it's just to help answer any questions, let you know what's going on during the week and things like that. So if you want to go ahead and look at the link, click it, and just kind of request to be a part of the group, I think that would be great. But how is everybody's Sunday? How's everybody's week? Today I had a good day. Spent some time with the kids. Relaxed. Definitely need it. Hey Wanda. So I got a really good question that somebody wanted answered. So I think that's gonna be kind of like the theme today, is as far as how to relocate to Florida, right? Kind of some tips and tricks. And because it could be scary, right? Like, especially if you just don't know the area, or you see you see some beautiful homes and things like that, right? Clicked on the link and says need permission. So it doesn't give you, let me see. Does it like ask questions or something like that? We need to get ourselves together. I don't understand how to show you guys. It's raining over here too. It is, hi John. It's pouring over here. But I'm not mad at it cuz I'm home, right? If it was pouring and I was outside, that's a different story. Then I'm like, I want to stay home when it's raining. Hi Michelle. SoCal. Oh, that's so funny you say SoCal. So I worked with someone who is from California at one point when I was working at Disney, and I would say Cali, and he was like, "No, we don't say Cali. It's like SoCal." So is that right, Wanda? Like, you don't say like Cali is, that's not a thing. It's SoCal. Says membership pending. Ah, perfect, perfect. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we'll definitely look through those pendings. Oh man, let's see. Everything is scorched here in PA. Really? You know, it's SoCal. Okay, okay. Yep, we don't. SoCal. Okay. Before he said something to me, I was like, oh, Cali, like thinking I'm all cool and stuff. PA, listen, I think PA is absolutely beautiful. Hey, Jason. I think PA is absolutely beautiful in the fall time. Like, that's my bet. Like, that's my favorite time in PA is the fall. The beautiful weather, the trees, the colors and all that. But once that winter hits, it's not for me. Like, that black ice is something serious. No, our lawn over here, Oh my goodness. We have to get it cut like freaking twice a week. It's just growing so much because of the rain that we've been getting. All right, so let's talk about relocating to Florida and how that looks, right? Because as I mentioned earlier, it can be so scary, right? It's like, wait, what am I doing? Me and Yelly here trying to learn the best. Jason, it's Jason. Jason and Yells are on here. Let's go. Let's go. We've been trying to get you into real estate. Like, let's go, Jason. So relocating to Florida, if you don't know the area, right, or you don't have the family and friends to kind of guide you and like, okay, go here, go there, right? It's very, very nerve-wracking. And I'm gonna be super honest with you. When we came here, I did a little bit of research and I was like, you know what? We gonna do it. And we got here and I ended up in one of the best places ever. And I didn't even know, right? So I ended up in Hunters Creek. And at that time, Hunters Creek wasn't what it is today in the sense of like all the stores and things like that. And the rent was like very low compared to what it is today. But that's why I'm here, right? So I can help guide you guys. So I know a lot of people. So I'm going to read the question that I was asked. Okay. I'm looking to move to a new city that would be that would be more affordable, but I don't know where to start. What is the steps if someone is moving to a different city or state? Should I look for homes first or should I try to get a transfer and set up a certain time to transfer and then start the process? Okay, let's break that down just a little bit, right? So when it comes to, relocating, it's a big deal, right? It's like, okay, it's not like it's just down the block, right? Like you're relocating, whether it be a few hours, another state, whatever it is, right? So I always recommend that my clients, like, listen, take a weekend, let's meet up, let's connect, and let's explore the areas that you think that you want to be in, right? Because I remember having this client and they were like, oh, I'm good with rural. Not this again. Rural. And I was like, all right. So the prices were just super, like they were great in the more rural part of Ocala, right? And when we went there, they were like, no, right? So I was like, okay, this is why you came over here, right? So you definitely have to invest in the time and whether you need a plane ticket or to drive over here to kind of check out the area and see if this is something that you like, right? Because it could be beautiful homes, but then you're not really feeling the area, or if it's like a dirt road or something like that, right? So I always recommend take the time out to come meet with me and we'll go check out the area. We'll go check out different houses, right? But what I'm going to tell you too is that, okay, how about you drive, right? Before we meet up, drive to different areas where these houses are and see which ones you like, right? Because again, you may not like where that house is located, right? You may not like the area. It may look run down, right? So that's, I 100% believe that you need to come before you make that decision that you're going to come to Florida and move here, right? Everybody knows the Orlando, the areas near Disney, Kissimmee, Davenport, and everything like that, right? But when it comes to Ocala is like, wait, what? Like, what's Ocala, right? So that's why if you're considering Ocala, then I definitely recommend you come here first and check out the area. Now, after that, and you're like, you know what, this is the place, I like it, I love it, I definitely see myself raising my family here, or at least starting here, right? Because just because you start there don't mean you need to finish there, right? So it's a process, it's the evolution of it, right? So then we're gonna then talk with well, hold on, so if you have a job, right? The easiest thing is if you could have a transfer, right? Like let's say if you work from home, that's you're 100% golden. If you work from home and your job would allow you to move and work from Florida, then that's perfect, right? But if you do not work from home yet and you work at the office, right? if your job has an office here in Florida, then you're going to want to get a transfer, see if that's even possible, right? If you need a whole new job, okay, that's okay. But remember, like if you're in New York, you're not making New York money over here. That's one thing. So that's always one thing that always you have to take into play, right? Especially if you have to stop that job, same position, same I don't know if you're a nurse or something, right? And you come over here, the difference in pay is there's a difference. Now, you can get a loan based on a job offer letter. Some lenders will accept a job offer letter, but the job offer letter has to be very, very specific. It can't be contingent upon a drug test, a background check. Like, no, you have to have like that job. It's like solid, you know? So the job offer letter has to state when you're starting, how many hours you're working per week, and the rate of pay. So that's very, very, very important, right? So, and you have to start with most lenders, you have to start within 60 days of when you are closing on the house. So, for example, I have a client who we just went under contract for one of the bigger builders here in the Haines City area. And she's a travel nurse. So with her, it was a little different, right? Because there's that sense of, okay, if you're a travel nurse, how are you going? How is, when you buy a house here, how is that considered a primary residence if you're traveling for work, right? So that's where we get into, okay, now is it going to be considered a second home or a primary residence? So what she was doing was she was like, okay, so then the agency she's with actually has jobs here in Florida. So she was able to apply, have solid, she got the job, and then an offer letter stating those exact things that I said it needed to state. And then, we got a pre-approval, and then she closes on her house next month, right? So that's always something that you have to take into consideration. Like if you're getting a job over here, if you can transfer over here, right? Let me see. Transfer and then start up the process, right? So it could be simultaneously where you're gonna get the job transfer, or you have a job offer letter. Because here in Florida, I know it's different in other states, but we usually average close within 30 days. There's lenders who can close us in 21 days or maybe even less, right? So it's definitely possible. Let me read these comments. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm thinking about relocating to Central Florida. Bobby, come on up. Cause I think you're the one who lives, Bobby, you live in, was it Bonita Springs? Or I feel like it was Bonita Springs. Correct me if I'm wrong. What about rent to own homes? There was like a big issues where realtors will be like, oh no, it's not good, don't ever rent to own. That's a great question, actually. So there's a lot of rent to own like programs, and unfortunately there's a lot of scams out there as well, right? So one of the bigger ones as far as rent to own programs is Home Partners of America. And so basically you have like it so okay, let's be honest here, right? If you qualify for a rent to own, right, and you have to give in your first month's, last month's rent and a security deposit, right? So like let's say you're talking 3 months, that's basically almost a down payment for a house, number one, right? So if you're worried about closing costs, there's programs like Hometown Heroes, which I've been like blue in the face telling you guys about. And so the rent to own, you're gonna end up paying a premium for it, right? So I would recommend us look at, okay, let's truly look at the whole picture and see if we can qualify for a home now, versus doing a rent to own program and you paying a premium for the house that you may not even like, right? So again, because rent to own programs, they're only in certain areas, certain houses and things like that. So I also feel like you may be settling, right? So me personally, I would definitely connect with like myself and be like, okay, let's look at the whole picture. Let's talk with the lender. Let's see what your file looks like and if we could get you into a house versus a rent to own program. Do you think eventually, hold on. Do you think eventually the home insurance situation eventually settled down? I mean, insurance prices seem to be a deterrent to moving to Florida. You know, that's a good question. Let's talk about homeowners insurance, because if you are looking at homes like in Miami, on the coast, right? The homeowners insurance is going to be more than you are if you were looking in the Central Florida area, Ocala, whatever, Ocala to Tampa. Even Tampa may be pushing it, right? So for example, I just had clients close and even on an investment property that we're closing actually the end of this month. So they ended up going with DR Horton. I put it on one of my my videos on YouTube. They bought a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage DR Horton townhome for $238,000, brand new. And the HOA is fairly low, $150 per month. It's gonna have a pool, and the lawn maintenance is included in that as well. And even on a investment property, their homeowners insurance was less than $1,000 for the year. So to answer your question, it depends on where you are looking to buy a house, right? Because I just had clients from Miami. I met with them yesterday, and their homeowners insurance is like $9,000 per year. That's a lot of money compared to like here in Central Florida is the 1,500, maybe the 1,500, but Ocala is even less because you're even more north, right? So I definitely, you know, it depends where you are going to be buying a house, how old the house is too, right? Because a lot of the times if the house is older and let's say it has an original roof, right, now you may not even get insured because of that. Or let's say if you're in a flood zone, right, you are going to the lender might require flood insurance. So it just honestly depends. You guys like my Starbucks cups? I love them. It's so beautiful. The studded ones are all me. Alexis, I also would be relocating to Florida after my retirement. I have a land in Marion Oaks and Ocala and would like for you to work with me. Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a piece of land, you are sitting on a gold mine, because the prices of the land in Marion Oaks are going up because of the so much interest. I just found out that, because I didn't know how many builders, but there are 32 builders just in the Marion Oaks area. So you have your larger builders, and then you have your small builders, then you have kind of like your mom and pop builders, right? So we have 32 builders. So you can definitely like so I've sold a few of one of my builders homes, and it's if you guys know my videos, you guys know which one I'm talking about. It's the 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. Very, very nice and beautiful. The bathrooms, all the bathrooms are very, very nice and have luxury finishes. But he will build on other people's land as well. So we can definitely find you a builder who's going to build on your land, because the bigger builders are not going to build on your land. They only build on their land. We need to get you a new background image. What's wrong with my image? Who is this sexy man 3100? You always coming with the foolery every week. Who are you? My background image is beautiful. Thank you. This is a whole vibe. It's boring. How it's supposed to be boring because I'm fun. I'm the fun. Can't have a fun background and then me is just overpowering. All right. So that's her house. My name is Tony. I love your videos. Well, hi Tony. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So guys, we decided as a team that we are going to create a separate channel for the lifestyle videos. Because it's just the way YouTube works, right? The whole, I don't know, the whole algorithm and all of that stuff. Because my YouTube channel is mostly of tours, and to add lifestyle videos is it messes with the algorithm. I don't know. Listen, so be on the lookout. I will we haven't created it yet, but we are going to create a new YouTube channel, and that's just going to be lifestyle videos on like what not only Ocala but what Central Florida has to offer, right? Because we already know what Disney has to. We already know Disney, we already know Universal, we already know Legoland, right? Stuff like that. But I want to show you guys, the gems, the hidden gems. So we guys, it's okay. So we would just went to the canyons in Ocala. So if you didn't know, Ocala has a zip lining canyons park, right? And in this park, you could go zip lining. They have a few different courses. You can go horseback riding, you can go kayaking, and I think that's it. You can do those 3 things, right? So I went zip lining with the kids, but I only have 4 of the kids. The kids were 2. Okay, so Cassidy was like, negative, I am not interested. No, thank you. I'll stay home and I'll play Fortnite. Okay, girlfriend, do your thing. I'm not going to make you do it, right? Malachi, he's too small. He's really, really skinny. You have to be at least 70 pounds. Okay, so fine. Victor, I'm sorry. He can't do it. He's just too big, right? And so and it's not about, so the wire itself when you're ziplining can hold his weight, but what happens is that when you're ziplining, you have to be within a certain motion, because if not, you can get stuck in the middle, right? And if you get stuck in the middle, the other person, which is called the lead, has to come grab you, like literally has to go on the line and pull you to the platform. Yeah, they were like, I'm sorry, no. So hubby couldn't do it. So I was with Aiden, Eli, Caleb, and Catalina. Number 1, I chose the zip lining course the least amount of time. 1 hour. I saw 1 hour. I was like, all right, that's for me, because 3 hours, no thank you. In this heat and walking and the bugs, no. So I did the 1 hour. Little did I know, the 1 hour was the hardest one. Yep, I didn't know that, guys. So I went up 90 flight of stairs. You heard that right. 90. My face was red as a freaking tomato. I was out of breath. I was like, oh, I have to do something about this. I'm gonna start working out or something. Anyways, Aiden did it, right? Eli was next. Eli, he has autism. And he is more of like, he's very, very structured, and he's like, he's very, very intellectual. So you have to like climb on this little, like, well, it's not little, it's an orange, no, it's a yellow platform. So he got on it and he was like, nope. And I'm like, oh, come on, you got this. And I'm like just being his cheerleader, right? And he's like, and I'm like, Eli, and I'm like in my head too, I'm like, boy, they don't give me no refund if you don't want to go down the line. And I'm like, you really want to go down 90 flight of stairs? And he's like, mommy, I'm like, I psyched myself out. And I was like, all right, okay. So then Caleb got scared, and I was like, oh, here we go. I'm about to be out like almost $200 between both of y'all. And I'm like pepping them. I'm like, guys, you got this. You know how you're going to feel so good afterwards. And so they were like, Caleb was like, no, I don't want to do it. So Catalina did it. Girl, that girl is my soldier. Like, she is down for it. She went. I was like, all right, good. So I had to go next because they needed an adult on the other side. Well, like, they needed their mom, right? So they had to call Vic to come grab them. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So the guy's like, you have to go. So I went. I was living my best life. Number one, I had a GoPro, right? The GoPro wasn't working and I didn't even know it because it's stuck onto your helmet and you can't take off your helmet. So I can't keep seeing to check. So I'm so sad. And I'm so sad for you guys that you couldn't hear me screaming the top off, like the top of my lungs, because I was screaming. So anyways, all of a sudden when I'm on the other side, I hear Caleb. And so Caleb did it. I was so proud of him. And he was like, Mommy, I was so scared. I was so scared. And I was like, but you did it. How good do you feel? How much time, like how many times do we walk through life fearful of things, right? And that's the same thing with real estate and buying a home or relocating to Florida, right? It's so scary. And sometimes, we let fear in and overtake everything and we just stay stagnant and just freeze. And no, you have to. I think that's what life is about. I've read somewhere, like, how everybody says you only live once? Well, no, you only die once. You live every day, right? You get every day to live and to, well, hopefully every day, right? But you get to like overcome the fear. So I was so proud of him, and I really wish that the GoPro got that moment, but it really didn't. It really didn't. And he was just so proud of himself as well. Eli, on the other hand, he didn't. So Vic had to go get him. So anyways, we did the whole zip lining thing. And when we got to the car, like, Eli was beating himself up, right? Like, he was like, man, I psyched myself out. And I tried to help him through it, right? But I felt for him, and I knew what he was going through. And I wish I could just be like, you got this, kid. Like, nothing's going to happen to you, right? Like, I got you, right? Like, that's what I wanted. Like, I said it, like, nothing's gonna happen to you, Poppy. I promise nothing's gonna happen. And that's how I feel like with all my clients. Like, I got you, right? Like, I know it may be scary, right? But I'm not gonna steer you in the wrong direction, right? I'm always gonna look out for your best interest. I'm always gonna get the absolute best deal for you, the best protection, right? There's always curves that happen, right? But then we always just have to adjust because there's only so much that we can control, right? So I love how our zip lining adventure just kind of like it ties into just that fear and just of the, I guess it's of the unknown, right? I think he was scared of falling. But that's why you guys need a guide, an expert in the area to help you kind of like navigate those fears and navigate through evolving in real estate, right? And so anyways, I'm going like 50 million directions. That was a point, right? But also is that we had so much fun, and you guys are gonna love this lifestyle channel. It's gonna be fantastic. Next, we've been wanting to go kayaking. Now there, I'm good, but my oldest son is like, Mommy, but there's gonna be alligators in the water. And I'm like, you good, Poppy, you good? And he keeps on, I don't know. And then now he's making me a little scared, but we got this, right? Hi, Carmen. Can I hire you specifically as a buyer's rep, especially with all the business happening with the NAR situation? Yes. So that's so funny that you say that, right? I love that you guys know what's going on, or if you don't know what's happening, right? So what I'm Hope Paladin 66, he or she, I'm not sure. Let me know your name. But what he or she is saying is that, so NAR, National Associations of Realtor, National Association Realtor, I don't freaking know. Anyways, normally in the real estate market, right? Hi, Eddie. Okay, so Eddie's talking about the NAR situation. What basically means is that we all so normally what happens is on let's say on a resale side, right? The listing agent who's representing the seller negotiates commission, right? When they negotiate their commission, then out of that commission, they normally give part of that commission to the buyer's agent, which is bringing the buyer to the property, right? So now, but it really doesn't change because sellers didn't have to provide commission, right? Like, but if you, as a seller, if you want to get your home sold, right, you definitely want to contribute commission towards a buyer's agent. So a lot of what's happening now is that, of course, realtors have to educate their sellers and say, listen, if you don't want to offer commission, right, to the buyer's agent, your whole your house is most likely not going to be seen, right? Because 97% of people buyers use agents to buy a home, right? So to answer your question is that what's going to happen is that if you want to see a home that has no, like, the seller is not contributing any commission, then you're going to, your agent, your buyer's agent, prior, hopefully, they are going to be like, okay, I charge, let's say I charge 3%, right? So I charge 3% to be your agent. Now, let's say the seller is not giving you any commission, right? Like, they're not offering any commission, then you as a buyer would have to pay that 3%. But what's going to happen too is that there's going to be negotiating when we're negotiating, price and all of that for commission as well, right? So there's a few different ways to go about it. But I'm excited for this because, agents, I feel like a lot of people feel that we make too much money and things like that, but honestly, we do a lot of work. And I can't speak for other agents, I can speak for myself though. Like, a lot of work goes into we're not just door openers, right? Like, we're scheduling everything, we're making sure that you're getting a really good deal, absolute best protection, right? Things like that. And so it's going to be rocky in the beginning, but everybody, if you guys don't know that now, so we're going to be obligated to have a buyer broker agreement to show anyone a home, right? So in order to show a home, you have to sign a buyer broker agreement with your agent. Okay. So I like that portion of it because there are a lot of people who like to flip-flop with agents, which I don't think it's right. I think, there's a lot of great agents out there. And even on YouTube, right? There's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, I'm gonna call this agent, I'm gonna call this agent, I'm gonna call this agent, and whoever gives me the best house, then that's who I'm going with. And that's not how it works. It's not. And if that's how you work, then we're not gonna work together, because that's not how I roll. Now, a buyer's agreement is required to be signed by the buyer. Also, new VA rulings came out regarding the buyer's agreement. Yeah. So before this all happened, we were not able to charge VA buyers any fees or anything like that. But now, because of what's going on, that is able to be negotiated, right? And so that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's real estate is negotiating, right? Like, when you're going to put an offer on a house and things like that, there's always negotiating involved, right? So if, like, let's just say if we're going to work together, Eddie, right? And I'm like, okay, listen, I charge 3% as your agent. If the seller is not paying the 3, is not advertising, right? Because you can't advertise on the MLS anymore that hey, we're offering 3% if you bring us a buyer. But let's say I call the listing agent and I'm like, hey, are you offering a co-broke? Are you offering commission for me to bring you a buyer? And they say no, then Eddie, that's your, like, I'm gonna be like, listen, Eddie, they're not offering commission. You may have to pay that 3%, or we can also put it into the deal as well, right? And that's just separate, right? So that's just going into a lot. But yes, buyer's broker agreement is required now, starting August 17th, that if you want to see any houses with a realtor, you have to sign a buyer broker agreement. So I highly recommend you guys to make sure you're doing your due diligence, your homework on the realtor that you want to work with, right? Because you can't have 50,000 buyer broker agreements with all the realtors, right? You have to choose your one. And let's say if you don't vibe with that realtor, you don't feel like that realtor is doing what they need to do, then you're going to have that conversation with the realtor and then just kind of adjust, right? Buyers are going to need to adjust to that change. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, like I said, like man, I do things a lot differently. I'm not a door opener. Like, I just don't open the door and like here. No, I'm like, I really advise you throughout the whole transaction, before the transaction, after the transaction, right? I still have my clients calling me like, hey, I need help with this. Can you help me with this? And it has nothing to do with their house. And I'm like, I got you. Like, let's go, you know? So give me 1 second, because I have to make sure that I'm all right. So serious question. Why are all the realtors pushing Ocala? Do mostly Latinos live there? I would say a lot of realtors are pushing Ocala because of the affordability aspect, right? And what's really good about it too is that most of the, like, specifically where I do most of my videos is Marion Oaks, and Marion Oaks, right? Not only is it affordable, but you're getting a lot for your money, if that makes sense, right? So, for example, you can get a home under $300,000 for brand new, right? Let's say luxury vinyl planking throughout the entire house, no carpets. You're gonna get, let's say, quartz countertops. You're gonna have all of the appliances, right? Even sometimes washer and dryer. You're gonna have tiled showers, right? And there's no HOA, and you're still on at least a quarter of an acre for about 300,000, really. But we go to Davenport, you get in a cookie cutter house, right? You have the big builders for the most part, okay? You have the big builders. You're not getting a new construction under $300,000 that doesn't have an HOA or a CDD. And like, for example, I like DR Horton. I do like I like their homes, in the sense of, like, I like their floor plans. I don't necessarily like their finishes, right? But they have those white inserts that you put in your shower, right? They have, some houses have laminate countertops, and you talking about $350,000 in an HOA CDD. The houses are close together. I'm be like, yo, I can knock on open my window and be like, mira, vecino, dame un poquito de azúcar. Like, they could hear me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's so different in Ocala because the affordability, the houses, the space, right? So I would say that that's why a lot of people are moving, and they like the no HOA. Like, don't get it twisted though. It is deed restricted. Like, I always, make sure you know that it is deed restricted, meaning they are restrictions. Not like an HOA, right? But one thing I know that they are very, very, like, they're trying to be strict about the Marion Oaks area is the truck trailers, because I think a lot of people who are truck drivers are parking on the like the grass and things like that, and they're like very, like, they don't want that anymore. So that's something that I know that, but you can have whatever type of fence you want, whatever color, but you can't be 20 feet high, right? And so azúcar. Let me just make sure I'm reading. I love your adventures. So funny and real. Thank you so much. I have so much fun doing it. I really, really do. And it just gives me an opportunity to include the kids too, right? Because honestly, I work a lot. I work a lot because we're on a one house income, right? Like, I have to work. I have to make sure that my kids are eating, my kids are fed. We about to start school in a month, and guys, I'm already looking at uniforms. I'm paying like almost $1,000 in just uniform shirts for them. And let's not talk about supplies, right? Like, so I have to work. So the adventures, right, it gives me an opportunity to still make money, right, in the sense of just, showing you guys what it has to offer. You know, hopefully you buy real estate with me, but also still spend time with them and show them, what these areas have to offer as well. All right, so let me see. So Eli's autism, that's a great question. So Eli's my second son. He is 11 years old. He's about to be 12. And so because he's my second son, I already had the first, and I'm like, when Eli, not, and I couldn't honestly see anything when he was a baby. But when he started getting like around 1, I was like, he's not really talking. And then it just like 2 to 3, it was really, really hard because he still wasn't communicating. He didn't know how to communicate. And so he only communicated with like outbursts and crying, and I don't even want to call them tantrums, right? Because I don't feel like they were tantrums. It was just really like, it was really hard for him to express himself because he couldn't communicate verbally. And so he was a baby when we moved to Florida, because he was born in New York. So we would go to like Walt Disney World, and it was just way too much for him. Just too many people. And then I remember we in 2000, I don't remember what year it was, but we went back to New York to just to show them, and they were still little, so we went to go visit, and we actually was in the city, and we went to a museum, and man, he had like a whole breakdown, and I'm like, okay, I think I definitely think that something's different, right? Because I don't want to say something's wrong. So something was different, and so we got him evaluated, and he got diagnosed with autism at the age of 3, and it was a blessing in disguise, right? Like this boy literally has taught me unconditional love. He has taught me that parenting looks different for each child, right? Because each child is different and they don't receive information the same way. They're not the same, right? And so he's been in school since he was 3 years old. There's when you like, if you have if you have speech delayed, developmentally delayed, if you're diagnosed being having autism, right, you can go to an early steps program. And basically, before they turn 3, the therapist comes to your house. They build a great relationship with the kid. I absolutely love it. Puzzles, things like that, trying to help them. It's it's that one-on-one. But once they turn 3, then they can go to school full time, and that's what happened with Eli. He's been in school since he was 3 years old, and he would be in an ESE program, which is a special program. And then right now he's in general. I was gonna say general population, like he's in jail or something, but you know what I mean. Like just he's with the kids, and he still has services because he gets to, especially when it comes to like tests and things like that. So he has like extra time, but he's the smartest kid in this house. Like he is amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. I absolutely love him. If he could go back into my belly, he would. Like that boy is like right here. If I allowed him, he'll be right next to me. Silver Springs for kayaking. I absolutely agree. And that's what I want to go. I want to see the wild monkeys. I want to see the manatees. I want to see the gators, but I don't want the gators to come up to me. But I also want to I saw that they have these glass boat, like these glass kayaks. And you could see, and I'm super excited because I want to see the little fish and stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be adventure. But I have to figure out this whole GoPro situation because it's an expensive camera, and for it to just shut off, like it literally shut off before I did the first zip lining because it said it was too hot. But GoPros are supposed to be for outside. Hello, like, all right. So Carmen, We have moved around 50 times since we got married almost 30 years ago. Life is an adventure. Let's enjoy the ride. Yes. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Um, there are people that have no ethics. We have seen quite a bit among friends and a personal experience. It's so sad. On the positive side, they always had working people. Okay. I'm not are you saying that in regards to realtors? I don't know. The children add entertainment to the tours, a big positive. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And they are so like there's no filter on any of the kids. So they're going to say how they feel and if they like it, if they don't like it, and I could definitely appreciate that. Gerard, can you find me a home in Ocala next to John Travolta's home? Sure. Is the property tax based on the size of the land or the square feet of the house? That's a great question. So the property tax is going to be based on what the house is valued at. So of course, like you guys always know on my videos, I say when you're buying a house, the first year the taxes are extremely, extremely low when it's a new construction home because it's only based on the land, right? But the second year, the house gets reassessed and they take into consideration the price of the home, the land, the house value, right? And as I always say in my videos, it's also going to depend where your house is located because every community, every different area has different tax millage rates, right? So that's also going to take into consideration as far as what your taxes are. What is the difference between a CDD and a bond? So a CDD is a bond. Why do we need to pay for either? Okay, so a CDD is a bond. It's a bond when bigger builders take out when they do not develop their own land, right? So they end up taking it out and essentially putting it onto the homeowners, right? And so the bond has two portions of it. It has an operation maintenance portion, and then the other portion gets finished in 30 years. But you're always paying for that operation and maintenance portion even after the 30 years, right? So what tends to happen is that a lot of the times the homes in a CDD community is going to be not a lot, but it's going to be less. The purchase price is going to be a little less than a community without a CDD. What are the pros and cons of Calessa Township and the villages? So I had someone looking into Calessa Township at one point, and they weren't a big fan of I would say how restricted the HOA is. So I mean, it's a beautiful community, right? There are some houses with like 0.20 of an acre, right? So there are a little bit, some of the homes have a bigger lot. And you're next to there's a aquatic center over there. It's a very nice location, right? So I would just encourage you to kind of look at the HOA guidelines and see, what their restrictions are. They build some really, really nice houses, floor plans. I like that you also could build from the ground up, right? Choose your floor plan, choose the lot, choose the finishes and things like that. But you may not even care about that if what the HOA says in the sense of what their bylaws are, right? The villages are really nice as well too. I would say the prices are definitely increasing. But I like how the Villages is definitely a community where you can have your go-kart and drive around, drive to Publix and things like that, right? So I always recommend, right? You could always join their Facebook groups, right? There's always, the communities always have Facebook groups, but I always say take it with a grain of salt, right? Because everybody's perspective is different. And so you always gonna have those people who are just super negative Nancy and everything's a problem, and we all have those people, right? But then you also have to take into consideration, okay, what are people saying? Yes, Carmen, definitely, definitely. I know I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, "Man, I wish I would have saw your video before I went with my realtor. I already bought the house and things like that, right?" And like I said, realtors are not created equally. I don't know what that saying is, but um I just try my very best, right? I am, like I always say in my videos, like I am who I am. I'm just super raw. You will not catch me. And like if we're meeting, especially we're meeting in Ocala, I'm gonna have most likely some jeans on, a t-shirt, and some sneakers, because most likely if the house ain't done and we're on dirt roads, or we're have to walk through dirt and things like that. That's where we were yesterday. We were in Ocala, and the house wasn't completed. We're working through sand and dirt and all that other stuff. Like I feel like there's that stereotypical, you're supposed to be like, I was just talking to my mentor about this today, like you have to be this like robot and have to wear suits and all that to be a realtor. That's not me. Like I will dress up if I need to, if there's an event or something like that, but I want to be comfortable. That doesn't, because I have a suit on, doesn't make me a better realtor, right? A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people judge and have this, I guess, this image in their head, or like, you can't, I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that. But what you see is what you get with me. I am super authentic. I am who I am. And that's why I love YouTube, because I just, the people who want to work with me see who I am, and they know I got them. Like I'm telling you, even I had this couple yesterday that they came from Miami. They're gonna sell their house in Miami and they want to move to Ocala. And when I tell you, guys, I'm always transparent. My Spanish is not good. It's Spanglish. Some days are better than others, right? And sometimes when I be speaking Spanish and it just be flowing, I'll be like, like, damn, Alexis, you did good on that conversation. And then other times I'll be like, I can't even say anything, right? So, anyways, this couple, they're like, I really want to work with you. I speak, my English is not good, but we gonna do it. And I'm like, absolutely. So he rolls up in his car and he's like, you got me. And I'm like, I do. Of course I got you. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let me see. So reassessments, how often are reassessments done? That's what drives collection for the town. So reassessment on the house doesn't happen until, like, let's say you sell the home, and the next person, right? So let's say you bought the house at $200,000, right? The assessment is going to be on $200,000. But let's say you sold it in 5 years, you gained, I don't know, $100,000 in equity. When that person buys your house, that house is going to get reassessed, and it's going to be based on $300,000, right? So let's just say you were paying $2,000 in property taxes. When that person buys your house, it's going to get reassessed based on a $300,000 loan, and their taxes are going to go up, right? That's how it works, even with resale property. So you always have to just take that into consideration. Do you have tips on relocating to Florida from Canada in terms of purchasing a home as a new homeowner? That is such a great question. So I've had multiple clients move from Canada to Florida. It's a bit tricky, right? It's a bit tricky in the sense of if you using this home as a primary residence, right? Because normally what has happened is that the buyers have to buy the home because you're, how do I say this? Like, how do I say, you're not a citizen, right? You sometimes you have to buy the home as an investment property, right? And or so I had a couple who he was a citizen, and he was still working, he was retired and still getting his pension in the United States, and they were able to come over here on a primary loan, right? So there's different loan options. Not necessarily doesn't have to be an investment loan, but it's something that we definitely, it's a case by case basis, is especially relocating from Canada to the United States, right? So definitely when you're ready, reach out to me and then we can come up with a game plan, see how we can help you pertaining to your specific needs, right? Because everybody's needs is different. Do you work with people who want to buy land to build their custom home? Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely, find a piece of land, and I can put you into contact with with either one of my preferred builders that I've sold their homes, or there's some other custom builders as well. I actually have clients that are moving from Vegas to Florida, and specifically Ocala. They love the Rolling Hills area, and they are going to buy a piece of land and then have a builder build on it because they're very, very specific in what they want, and so that's the route that they're going to go. I'm interested in relocating to the Ocala area. Are you able to help if I was looking to one of the Lennar or the DR Horton developments? Absolutely. So what happens is that I don't work for any builder, right? Like I'm a real estate advisor who works for herself, right? So I can help you buy a home, a DR Horton home, a Lennar home, one of the big builder homes. I can help you buy land. I can help you buy a home from one of the smaller builders. I can help you buy resale properties, right? So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. What I would tell you though is that you definitely, like I said, you want to get, especially if you go anywhere, you want to get an inspection done, okay? That's what I'm going to say. Get an outside inspection done on the home. So let me know, guys, if you have to subscribe to the new lifestyle channel. I don't know when it's coming out just yet. We're working on that. I'm still thinking about a name. So if you guys have some good ideas as far as what my lifestyle channel should be called, put it in the comments. We're still stuck on that sense of what our lifestyle channel should be. But I'm super excited for that. So what happened? So Carmen said, Alexis, so that means after the purchase of the new construction, after the first year assessment of the mortgage payment will be readjusted once again and go higher on any kind of loan. There is a possibility that the mortgage could go up if the lender didn't escrow the right amount of money into the account. Like, let's say they didn't account for what the taxes could be, right? It could go up a little bit. I have seen that. So you just want to make sure, like, let's say you get a loan and you're like, okay, it's, for example, $1,500. You want to make sure that, okay, let's say if it does go up an extra $200 for if the taxes go up or whatever have you, that you're comfortable with those payments. Okay. She got us. Absolutely. I really do. 3 languages. That's amazing. Of course, Michelle. Are there more builders than what are listed on Zillow? A lot of time there's only DR Horton, Lennar, Adams, Holiday Builders. I don't like the floor plans they have, but can't afford a custom home. That's actually a great question. So yeah, you have a lot of smaller builders in the Ocala area where they build those, homes in, well, all different types of price ranges, right? So you have very, very nice homes in the 260s, 270s. So yes, there definitely are smaller builders besides the big ones. When it comes to, like, especially the Ocala area, I'm not a big fan of, I would prefer one of the smaller builders in the sense of their floor plans and their finishes versus the DR Horton. Sometimes, right? Because I like DR Horton's Cali floor plan. So they build their Cali floor plan in Marion Oaks. And I like the layout of the Cali, right? I like the room sizes. I like the square footage. I like that it has a covered lanai. With those, they do have the granite in the kitchen, but for the most part, they have the laminate in the bathrooms. I don't know if that has changed. So Lennar only builds in communities, so there's always an HOA. Adams Homes has a few different floor plans in the Marion Oaks area and in communities. The problem I have with Adams Homes, I really, really, really like their floor plans. Like, I really like their floor plans. I have one client who's like, I'm looking for separation, right? They do have some floor plans that offer that separation. But most of their houses in the Marion Oaks area has rugs everywhere, and laminate countertops, right? So when you look at that house compared to maybe one of the smaller builders who are offering luxury vinyl planking throughout the house, or even tile throughout the house, and are offering quartz countertops, and it's almost the same price, right? It's like, okay, where are you gonna go? Holiday Builders is the same thing. Holiday Builders, they have rugs every freaking where. The dining room, the living room, the bathrooms. I'm surprised they don't have it in not the bathrooms, excuse me, the bedrooms. I'm surprised they don't have it in the kitchen. But they and laminate countertops, right? So I actually just went to Holiday Builders yesterday because we're gonna do a video at so Holiday Builders in Ocala. Or they build in Ocala, they build in Poinciana too. They build in Palm Bay. So they have different collections, right? So their Aspire, I don't know if it's called the Aspire collection now because I think I'm getting it mixed up. Anyways, the Inspire or something. The lowest, their inexpensive houses are going to be the ones that have carpet everywhere and laminate countertops, right? And I was just talking to the agent, and the agent was like, listen, we had to like reduce our prices because we're competing against those smaller builders or even the bigger builders who are offering, tile throughout the house except the bedrooms and things like that. But we're actually going to be we're going to be putting the video on maybe within the next couple of weeks. Is Holiday Builders has a collection where what I like is that you can pick the lot, you can pick the floor plan, and then you can pick the finishes, right? You can't make any structural changes, but you can pick like if you want the whole house to have tile or luxury vinyl planking, what kind of countertops, right? If you want stone on the outside. So I do like that. And they still build in like near Marion Oaks, but not, they are going to start building those collections in Marion Oaks. But anyways, I like it. And you're on at least half an acre and where they build. So that's going to stay tuned for that video. It's probably going to be up within the next couple of weeks. Tuesday, I'm dropping my video in Ocala. I'm excited for this one. So we did it in Ocala. It was specifically in Denellen. It was literally across the street from Rainbow Springs Park, right? When I tell you this house, I loved it because number one, it's custom, brand new. It was on over an acre. The builder is also, the builder has the lot next to it, right? So they're selling that lot as well if you wanted to have like that lot so nobody's coming to your left. But then that is, so if you were to buy that lot, you're going to have the entire corner, right? So you're going to be a little bit over 2 acres. But this house specifically, I really, really enjoyed doing because it had like a separate apartment in-law suite type thing, right? Like literally separate. So you could get into it by your house, like in when you're in your main house. But if you wanted to rent it out, if you wanted to, have it blocked off, you absolutely can. But what I like about it is that they had that unit had their own AC, has their own water heater, has their own laundry room, has their own full kitchen, living room, a bedroom, even their own covered lanai and their own side entrance. And that one's running, so that one had a price reduction. So they try to price it on the market, not even completed, almost $800,000. So now it's reduced to $699. So I believe it was exactly like a $94,000 price reduction. So I'm super excited about that home. It was a really fun home to tour. It may be a little dark because a lot of the light fixtures weren't on and stuff like that, but definitely when you guys are looking at my videos, show some love. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by October. I'm super excited. So definitely subscribe to my channel, comment, like, share. It goes a long, long, long way. Could you offer us new construction in Poinciana, please? Yeah, absolutely. So my last 2 videos, last 2 Mondays were in Kissimmee, Poinciana, but this part of Poinciana is not like in the thick of Poinciana. It's closest to Haines City, if that makes sense. And those were some really, really nice houses. Oh my gosh, I really love the bathrooms, especially the master bathroom where you had the standalone tub, and then you had the beautiful tiling going all the way up to the ceiling. So yes, they do offer some houses. I know a lot of people are like, Poinciana, like stay away from there and things like that, the traffic. So the traffic can get thick, but depending on where the house is located, right? So where I did the houses, the traffic is not bad because you have it's closest to Haines City, if that makes any sense. Love your videos, and especially the way you addressed all your views on realty. Is it possible that we can use the same lender when we relocate? We live in Sunrise, Florida. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for, watching my videos. As I always mention, I'm super just so appreciative of you guys showing so much love because as I mentioned, there's so many different realtors on YouTube. So for you guys to vibe with me, I am just so grateful, right? I don't take it lightly. Are all the houses in Ocala cookie cutters? I mean, like in the community that there are like 3 types of model that you can choose. I would say in like the big communities, like your DR Horton, your Lennar, your LGI, I would say that there are cookie cutter homes basically, right? I not for nothing, although like I feel like K Hovnanian's a little cookie cutter, but not really. Like I really like their floor plans as well. K Hovnanian built some really, really nice houses. I'm actually under contract with one of my clients. They're gonna close next year because the house is not even completed. It's not even the lot is still wooded, but they went under contract at a really, really good price for one of their homes that has the in-law suite. So it has a separate entrance. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, 2-car garage, and I believe it's a little bit over 2,000 square feet. So I do like their floor plans. They have a goldenrod floor plan, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,833 square feet. And it's a really good price. I have one of my clients who's retiring in October. John, if you're watching, I got you. I absolutely love him. He's gonna he likes one of those houses too. Guys, this is what I do, right? I already know the houses in the area. I already know the houses like when I gotcha. Like when you talk to me and you're like, okay, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, or even when we're in front of each other and you're like, I actually thought I liked this, but I don't like it, or I really want this, and then we just readjust and we get you what you're looking for. Smaller builders included, not Lennar. Carmen said it, not me. You're the best. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Is there an advantage having a block structured home as opposed to as opposed to frame built for insurance, weather, house temperature? That's a great question. You asking some really great questions, Shiloh. Am I saying your name right, Shiloh? That's a beautiful name. So I would say, right, if I had to choose between a block home and a frame home, I personally would want to do block, right? I just feel like it's more structurally sound. But LGI is actually building their homes now in the Ocala area with frame. And they say that the way that they're building the framed homes, it has kind of like it's more durable than block in a sense, and you have kind of like an extra warranty with those. Insurance purposes, I don't necessarily think that it's a bigger deal unless you were going to be on the coast. Then I would say that that may take into play. House temperature control, I think, because they still insulate the home, so I don't necessarily think that that would be a bigger difference, but that's a really, really good question. I love your videos. I spent the whole day watching you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love doing the videos, right? I was there's different types of YouTube channels when it comes to real estate, right? Like you have your home tours, you have like informational videos and things like that. And a lot of people do really, really, really good like informational videos, but I just love touring homes, right? I just love touring. I love showing you guys like these homes. Let's talk about this home, right? Like I always say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna get offended if you don't like this home. I didn't build it, right? So tell me what you think about this home. Like, let's talk about it, right? And so I get to really, really like build my community, I feel, and like vibe with you guys through the home tour channels versus kind of like a informational, me sitting at my desk letting you know what's going on. But I do these live streams, right? So that we can connect. I can help answer any questions. But thank you so much. They need to lower down the prices on these houses. I mean, they're, honestly, they're going, um there's a demand for these houses. There are, I do see some price reductions because still builders try to think that they can, high. Like I know this one house that it went on the market at like 310. Very, very nice home, right? But at the end of the day, people are only going to pay for what the house is worth. This is not COVID time frame where people were paying $100,000 above appraised value, or even like sometimes if you could waiving appraisal and all this other stuff. So appraisal contingency, because you can't waive the appraisal if you're financing, unless you're financing a big portion, then you may be able to. I'm having the same problem. All of the floor plans are the same and they don't fit my family needs. 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 3 car garage with formal dining room as casual dining room. Yeah. So Shiloh. Okay. Yeah, Shiloh. A lot of people that I have been talking to, want kind of like they want that formal dining room, right? They need that 3 car garage. So I mean, some of the bigger builders do offer kind of like the separate formal dining room, right? Maybe if it's a 2 story, a loft and things like that. So I definitely understand. We assume the responsibility, disclaimer, Alexis, it's our experience. So you're just going to skip out on my comment. What? I didn't skip your comment. I actually did say your comment. Alexis, I appreciate how you point out things in a house that could be better, or a good design idea, like the tile to the ceiling in the showers. Never thought of that before. But doesn't it make a big difference? Like, I think it makes such a big difference when the tiling is going all the way up to the ceiling. Like, it just, like, really, we couldn't take it up to the ceiling. Like, it makes such a big difference. I absolutely love how it looks. So it's so funny because I had a builder called me and wanted me to sell his houses. He's in the hotel industry, but during COVID, he decided, I'm gonna try the residential route. So he built a few houses. They're the same in the sense, but one of them, so of course there's always trial and error, right? Especially if you're new to the game as far as residential, because residential is different from commercial, because he does hotels. So when I walked his house, very nice finishes, right? I love that it has a beautiful covered lanai, the quartz countertops, okay, the 42-inch cabinets, the crown molding, beautiful. You have the pantry. But then I went to the bathroom, and the tiles. I'm like, listen, my people, because you guys know I'm always looking out for y'all. I'm like, my people, we like the tile all the way up to the top, right? That's number one. Number two, we gonna need another master bathroom sink, right? Because there was only one. And he was like that they messed up and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay. He was like, going forward, yes, right? And so I love the feedback you guys give me, right? So if I have a chance to talk to these builders, I'm like, this is what my people want, right? Like, we got to give the people what they want. They're the one who's paying for this, right? Can I call you? Can I call to schedule a meetup? I will be in Florida at the end of the month. Absolutely. You can either call me. If you call me during the week, you're going to get my assistant Katrina. She'll go ahead and put you on my calendar. If you want to just like schedule a call, you can go ahead on my YouTube. There's going to be a link. Just click that link. That link is to my calendar. And then you can go ahead and schedule time with me on that. What are the chances of getting a house under $100,000? Honestly, the only way you're probably going to get a house that's $100,000 less is if it's higher in price point. So like, let's say you have a brand new construction home that's at $300,000, you're not going to get that $100,000 less. But let's say something's at like 1.5 million, right? You may be able to get that. You may be able to get $100,000 less on it, depending on the situation. You know, how long has the house been on the market? You know, what's the seller situation? Are they looking to move, or are they just kind of testing the market to see what they're going to get for their home, right? So there's a whole bunch of different like things. Yes, it makes a huge difference when the bathroom tile goes all the way up. I agree. And another thing too that I don't understand why builders don't do is that I really do feel that linen closets are a must. You know, I have linen closets. I have a lot of closets, and I like linen closets because you could put your bed sheets, your towels, right? Or even closets and storage in general, right? Like, let's say you guys are a game night family, right? And have a whole bunch of games. It'll be really good to have maybe like a closet somewhere, that like an extra closet. That's one thing I would say about this builder, the one who has the tiling didn't go all the way up to the ceiling, but he has storage, right? So there is a closet in the living room, kind of like a co-closet, but we can add shelves and add all the games in there. There's linen closets. There's a closet in the garage, right, for extra storage. So I absolutely, me being a big family, me having a big family, I love storage. People are home price focused, which is totally understandable. It's the interest rates that play a huge determining factor on affordability. Shop around. I absolutely agree with that. Supposedly the interest rates are gonna decrease by September, so I'm hoping for that. I'm super excited about that. But that's the thing too, right, is that if you're very, very payment conscious, the price of the home is not going to be the biggest thing. Just like you said, Eddie, is going to be that interest rate, right? And so a lot of the bigger builders are offering some really, really, really good incentives, interest rates, and things like that. So it's just kind of like, you know, you have to see what's the best route for you guys. I keep switching to all right. And then so it's about, oh my gosh, I'm on here for an hour and 17 minutes with you guys. I love that. I was like, I'm only gonna do this for 30 minutes, and I'm an hour and 17 minutes in. You guys, I love you guys. All right. Why do builders not put in closets? I need room for it. Oh, look, Shiloh, I was just saying that, and I didn't read your comment till now. Plus, need room in my pantry. One jar of peanut butter pantries won't work. No, I agree. I agree. Since Florida's temperature is going down during winter, I appreciate carpets in the bedrooms and living room. LVP or marble floor in the rest of the house. I respect that. Me personally, I don't like carpets because of the dogs. Like even you vacuum and you still have hair in the carpet, right? So me personally, like, so that's why I always tell you guys, right? I always say, if the floor plan works for you, right? If it fits your, like, your family, and there's still things that you don't like about it, but it's a great deal, great incentives, great price, do it. If it makes sense financially, that you're comfortable with, like the payments and things like that, do it, right? That's what I did. I got in my house, I paid 306. I have a 5-bedroom 3-bath home, pretty nice lot, not nothing like crazy, right? But before I moved in, I had carpet everywhere. Like, I had carpet, the living room. Now DR Horton changed it up on me after I bought, but that's okay. So I had carpet in the living room, in the dining room. I was like, do you know that I have 6 kids? Like, who puts carpet in the dining room, right? So that's one of the first things that I had to do before we moved in, is we ripped up the carpet downstairs, and we put tiling on, right? But then I had carpet upstairs, even on the stairs. I hate carpet on the stairs. I hate it. I hate it. It just looks so, especially if I tried that whole no, I know I'm not the only one. Let's get real right now. I tried the whole no shoes up the stairs, right? No shoes in the house. But when there's 6 kids, right? And they don't listen, and they do it, right? So you see the darkness in the carpet on going up the stairs and things like that. So finally we were able to save money, and we were able to rip up all the carpets upstairs and get the flooring, right? So my point in telling you guys this is that if it makes sense financially, and it's a starter home, because this is a starter home for us. This is where we're starting, but this is not where we're gonna end, right? I highly encourage you to do that, right? So now my house, I still got laminate countertops. Oh, but now DR Horton builds this house with granite or quartz. But it's all good. We're gonna change that up, because I'm gonna end up renting this and sell. I'm not selling it. I'm gonna rent it and then buy another one. But my point in telling you is that I bought this at 306. This same house in the same area is going for about 430. Okay, and the upgrades I've already made, right? Things like that. So I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I got you. Just listen to me. Good afternoon, Alexis. This is Ramon. I have to say it like that. Ramon. Carmen's husband allowed me to say I've been paying attention. I enjoy the way you tell it like it is. My wife said, I told you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Ramon. That's the only way to say your name. Like, you can't say Raymond. Is it Raymond? Ramon. Oh, Ramon. No, Ramon. My son cannot roll his R's. He tries, but he can't. You're doing well. Thank you so much. Let's stay cookies and coffee. Cookies and coffee. If I bought a house, how much only estimates would it be to add a pool? Who would you recommend? So it depends on the area that you're going to buy the house in. But the pools are starting at least 50,000. It really is. So because of COVID, and after COVID, the pool prices have just increased. People still remove their shoes even after I installed hardwood flooring. Eddie, then you gotta give me the lowdown, the cause my kids know. I'll tell you this. When we bought our house, and I still had carpet on the upstairs and the stairs, right? I didn't want the dogs upstairs, but it's kind of hard. And so my golden retriever is the oldest one. And he thinks he could do whatever he wants, because he can, because he's the oldest one, right? And so he went upstairs. But before he went upstairs, he got into a huge bag of gummy bears. So he decided to eat the gummy bears downstairs and go upstairs, and he threw up in like 10 to 15 different spots. And because of the gummy bears, it was like that sticky stuff that just did not come out. I was so upset with him. I bought the ugliest house in the best neighborhood, and it wasn't my dream home, but I have made into it. My family has helped me renovate. That's amazing. That's what I would do. I would buy the ugliest home in the best neighborhood, because what's going to happen is that you can always make it how you want it to be, right? This is why I love your channel. You have a family, a beautiful one too. You understand the life with 6 kids and dogs. Yes, 6 kids. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'm just like, what? Like, especially now in the summer. My little one, as I have mentioned previously, my little one, he's 7. He's about to be 8 in January, and he's adopted. Him and his 2 sisters are adopted through foster care. But he was his biological mom has done did drugs while she was pregnant with him, right? So he has like ADD and stuff like that. So he's been a work in progress, I would say. But this summer has been really, really challenging with him in the sense of like we just got to keep constantly having him engaged, because or not, like, he's gonna be in timeout for the rest of the summer. And he got kicked out of school. He did. He did. He got kicked out of school. So he I don't know what it is with other children, but like he keeps his hand to himself in this house, right? He don't hit his siblings or anything like that. But in school is a different story. Even summer camp, he got kicked out of summer camp because he was fighting with another kid because they were this is not funny that they were fighting, but what's funny about it is that they were creating a YouTube channel, and like a fake YouTube channel, and they were fighting of who was going to be Jake Paul, right? So he ended up just like going off on this kid, and so he unfortunately got kicked out. Anyways, same school, couldn't keep his hands to himself. The school was amazing though, amazing. We worked through it, and unfortunately he just I think it was like his 3rd or 4th time being suspended. And so now we're in the deciding if we're gonna homeschool him or send him to a different school. But I think he does need that one time of homeschooling. But listen, we're not gonna, like, he's gonna be homeschooling in the car, like, and I like that aspect of it, right? Is that like it's not like you don't need 8 hours of being at a desk, what, like, documents. But I have no idea how to homeschool anyway, so it's gonna be a learning curve for the both of us. But I think what's good about it though is that he's going to have a lot of that one-on-one time with me, because I think that's something that it's hard with 6 kids and having that like one-on-one time with each and everyone. I actually had my oldest son cry a few weeks ago, and it broke my heart because, again, right, I'm transparent. I have to make money, right? And so sometimes I just get like into like my work and making sure everything is good and things like that. And he was like, Mom, I need you. Like, I need some one-on-one time with you, right? And then so I was like, I heard you. And so we went to go eat and things like that. He's into cologne, so we went to Ulta, got him a cologne and things like that. So I try to do that with the kids and things like that. But anyways, I don't even know what the moral of this story was, but kids are hard, and I'm trying my very best. I'm doing my very best. And that's why I always say, like, my sister-in-law be like, hey, how you doing? My very best. That's what you're gonna get out of me. My very best. That's what I'm doing. Totally agree with you, Alexis. I hate carpets. 42-inch quality cabinets, drawers in both bathroom and kitchen for it to fit everything, period. I got you. Yes, Rudy. Listen to this man. No carpet. I like to sweep and mop and have plenty of grandchildren. Run a car. You'll get mine. All right, guys. We are just like well over time. It's about to be an hour and a half. I could stay on with you guys and chop it up so long. Like I always say, I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, chopping it up with me. The Real Tea on Sunday Sunday evenings, I guess. I really love you guys. Thank you so much. Again, comment, subscribe, share, like. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by October. We're almost at 7,000. Again, we are creating a new channel, lifestyle channel, which is going to have all of my kids, of course. And we're just going to be showing you what Central Florida has to offer, right? Not just Ocala, because I don't only cover Ocala. Like, let me put that out there. I'm in Ocala a lot because of what it has to offer, but we are covering all of Central Florida. But if you want to move anywhere in Florida, I have partner agents that I can connect you with anyways. Okay, so I love you guys. Monday and Tuesdays is going to be the next videos. Tomorrow is going to be in Haines City. We toured the Richmond American home Moonstone, which is a 5-bedroom 3-bath 2-car garage, 2,800 square feet. And then Tuesday is going to be in Denellen, where we have that custom home that has that separate apartment, in-law suite, whatever you want it to be. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. And don't forget, next week, Realty on Realty.